Hello, this is Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com, and today I want to talk about something that's kind of exciting. It's pretty cool news. It's from Toyota and Subaru. It's also a follow-up because I had a question that I answered just about, I think, 2 weeks ago. I'll link it down here, where somebody asked what it would take to dominate the electric vehicle market. They specifically want to know to take it away from Tesla, but really they want to, when I answered it, I gave a broader, this is what would be required to own the market itself. And my contention at that time was you need to make a battery electric small or compact crossover, preferably both. And there are only a handful of companies that could do that. And this news comes from two companies that would be capable of doing that. So it's funny because they were not on my list of expectations because separately they don't have the real expertise to pull it off. But together they do. So Toyota and Subaru are going to work together on they have if I look over there, it's because that's where my notes are. Okay. So what you're seeing right here is what they're going to collaborate on. This is sort of a sketch drawing. You can see it's got elements of both vehicles, both companies' vehicles in it. So it's got elements of kind of a Toyota RAV4, and it's got elements that sort of look like the current crop of Subaru crossovers that are a little bit bigger. So we're talking like bigger than the Impreza hatchback. So we'd be looking at, like the Foresters and the Outbacks and those things. So you can see elements in both of those up there in that photo. And it's the only thing that came with this release was just that one image. But it says a lot because you can see the electrification right on the front of it up here. So in the engine compartment, you can see all the electrification. And then on the bottom across there, you can see the batteries. They're under the floor, which is every engineer ever has figured out that has tried this has figured out batteries in the floor, good. So there you go. That's what they're doing. And now the press release itself has a lot of fluff to it. There's a lot of history. They talk about their previous collaborations. Toyota and Subaru have worked together a lot. The most public of those that most of us would recognize today is what I like to call the Toyobaru sports cars. So the little Subaru BRZ and the now Toyota 86 used to be the Scion FRS. The 86 is also called the FT86 in some other markets. The two companies have worked together on a lot of other things. Toyota was a big part of Subaru's Crosstrek Hybrid, which was horrible. I really did not. I found nothing to like about that vehicle when I drove it 2 or 3 years ago. But Toyota has a lot of expertise in electrification. They do not have expertise in battery electrics, but they do have plug-in and regular electric expertise. Subaru has very little and none, almost none in that regard. Subaru is really, really invested in the Boxer style opposed piston engines. But Subaru has a ton of expertise in all-wheel drive systems. They are probably, I would say, they are probably the world leader in that. They have more expertise in that than anything else. Whereas Toyota, not so much, especially in pairing a CVT to an all-wheel drive system. They have not been able to do that successfully, whereas Subaru does that in pretty much everything they make. So Subaru has a lot to help with the drivetrain, while Toyota has a lot to add for the electrification parts. So it's a very, very smart, obvious marriage. So I'm really glad to see that they're doing that. Now, for a timeline to make this happen, because they're announcing it, it means they've been talking about it for a while. They've probably been working together a little while, but not very long, because this is the sort of thing you don't want to accidentally leak out. So they probably have not been collaborating directly for very long, if at all. But I would say that it would probably only take them a year or so to come out with some sort of prototype to show this. And they would be smart to do that, because if they take too long, people will forget about the collaboration. And then when it comes out, it'll seem like a surprise. Also, because people are excited about this collaboration, so they're excited about what they had to say, the people will want to see an outcome. They want to see something produced because of it. As for production, I would say at least 2 years, probably closer to 5, so somewhere in 2 to 5 year span. So we would see production of something that comes from this. We'll see a prototype within a year or so. So sometime probably during next year's auto show cycle, there will be a prototype brought out. It could be at a European show. It could be in a US show here, which would most likely mean probably LA, which would be the end of next year. So the end of 2020. Also could be, any of it would also just make a lot of sense for the two companies, because they're both Japanese, to do it at the Japanese show. Also, for production, I'm going to say 2025 is probably a target. So, but very, very cool news. Here's the press release itself. I'll just scroll it down for you to look at. And I want you to just, it's moving kind of slow. Hopefully you can read it. If not, you can pause as you need. But going down, it's mostly background and extra information. There isn't a whole lot of detail as to what they're doing. But at the bottom, right above that photo, at the bottom is a note from Subaru that's important because it really spells some things out. That note is, following this agreement with Toyota, Subaru will now shift its existing BEV, that's battery electric vehicle, development resources to this new joint project. Within this new framework, Subaru will continue its efforts to create an attractive BEV SUV for our customers, while improving efficiencies in terms of engineering, development, purchasing, and other areas through the new joint project. In other words, Subaru is going to dump all their electric eggs into this basket, which is probably a smart thing because they don't have a lot of those eggs. So that's really exciting news. It's also a follow-up, like I said, from a question that was asked that will be linked below about these. I'll also link this press release below, so if you need more time to read it, or you'd rather read it somewhere other than on a YouTube screen, then there you go. I'll link to that. So exciting news. I only like to talk about news if it makes me excited. That's why I don't do a lot of breaking news stuff on here, because I just don't like it. But if you have something you want commentary on, something you've heard of, something that seems like you would like to know what I think, or something that maybe you would like to hear some more information on or something, go ahead and hit me up. You can comment down below. You can find me on aarononautos.com. Up there, you can find me all over the place, social medias, all that plus stuff. So go ahead, hit me up. I'm happy to hear from you. This has been Aaron from aarononautos.com. Talk to you again soon.